Let's start something, another Excel sheet. I shall create a simple report. You can watch how I'm operating and also practice. I'll call this report payroll. So I can right click down here. And rename it as payroll. Then I'll start creating my report. There are parts I will use the heading, so I need the heading. So I can maybe select from this cell to here, merge it, and call it the report. It's called Fortech Computer Systems. Report. Then I pick this. I have merged with this one. I put bold, can resize. Then my address, I match. My address could be that one. Nairobi. I again put this to bold. And then I can merge again this place as of end of February 2025. After that, I can now start my report. Maybe this is number. This can be number. This here can be names. This here can be salary. This here can be commission of 8% maybe. I can put this to this. This is for merging, but I now want to wrap, so I can wrap with this one. Then resize to ensure it looks good, presentable. Can bring to center. These ones I can put them to bold. Bonus, some percentage, maybe 8%, or maybe bonus of 11%. I can also use this, bring to center. This can also be to center. Bonus allowance of maybe 5%. Can also bring this, then resize, align to center. There could be NSSF, there could be NHIF, there could be tax, maybe pay tax of 5%. Can use this, align to center. I also can bring this to center. I may also have total salary. I can also put this, bring to center. I may also have a net salary. These ones can also be this way. Yeah, so I also let these ones also be. This can be. Let me put this to small. Let's be just small. This can just be small. Then I start filling data. This is 1, 2, my employees. Can just drag this up to there. Names. One person could be Patrick, Joshua. I can stretch this one. The other one could be Tabitha, Anjiko. The other one could be Caleb, Mundi. The other one could be any name. And Chebet. The other one could be Mary, Emma, could be John, Kyoko. These are just names. Any name that comes into my head. Caro, Wamboi. So those I can use maybe 5 main names. Tom, Mwendwa, Tracy, Tracy, Atieno. I can just use those names, and then another one could be Jackie, Anyona. That could be the names. Then the salaries, I also will put any salary in my head as an example. I would want these ones to be in currency. I will later put them to currency. Here I'm filling data. Just filling data. That's my data. So NSSF may also be a case where everyone is being deducted the same amount. If everyone is being deducted the same amount, you simply can write that and drag. Doing this will mean everyone is being deducted the same amount. Yeah. If NHIF also happens to be people are getting deducted the same amount, you can simply write it and drag. So if everyone is being deducted 1,050 shillings, you can simply click and drag. That's duplicating. The rest could be involving calculations. So here I could be the 8% of the salary. So I'll start with equals. These are user defined formulas where you are the one who comes up with them. They are custom made. That is to mean you create the calculation of what you'd want to add, deduct, subtract, divide, or whatever calculation you want to do on a particular cell with the formula you want. So like now I want to do 8% of the salary. So I'll start with equals. Always start with equals. Click where you'd want to, the cell that has the figure that you'd want to work with. Multiply it by the percentage. That's now 8%. That way. That's one way of doing it. C6, which is now this, multiplied by 8%. Then I now press enter. That way it will calculate. So I don't need to do that. If the cells are next to each other, then I just need to drag. I'll click this and drag. So this shall be 8% of this. This shall be 8% of this. As you can see, this is 30,000. This is also 30,000, making this the same, which is correct. So each cell you click, the formula bar here has what was done to get the figure. What was done to get this value was as a result of C12 multiplied by 8%. But if the cell was in another place, the next one that follows was in another location, then I would have to do them one by one. But because they are adjacent to each other in one column, I simply can do this top one and drag. I'll repeat the same here. I'll start with equals. Click the cell that has the value you'd want to work with, multiply it by the percentage you want to work with. You also can put 11 divided by 100, but it's easier to put the percentage sign. Then you press enter. Then you click this and drag. Allowance, you start with equals again. The same salary multiplied by the 5%. Then you press enter. Then the figure you get, which is C6 multiplied by 5%, you simply drag it. Then come to tax. This is the deduction. So I'll again start with equals. Click the salary that you are supposed to do calculations to. Multiply it by the 5%. Then you press enter. Then this is what you now drag. So the formula for calculating this is C6 multiplied by 5%. Then total salary or gross salary shall be what you got, the total money you received before the deductions were done. The total money you received before the deductions were done. People also call it gross salary. Net or gross, let's call it gross salary. Gross salary. That means the total money you received. That would mean the salary plus the commission plus the bonus plus the allowance. That's what we will refer to as gross salary. So I'll start with equals. The salary the first person got was this, plus the second thing they got was this, plus the bonus, plus the allowance. So Patrick got salary plus commission plus bonus plus some allowance. That's what we have captured here. When you press enter, you're able to notice from 30,000 there was an addition of 24, an addition of 3, and an addition of 1,500. So when you drag, you are now able to get every person's gross salary. Then net salary is now after the deductions have been done. So that will mean after the deduction of NSSF and NHIF from the gross salary and the tax. So we'll start with equals. The total salary is this one. We deduct this NSSF which was deducted. We again deduct this and again deduct this. That's one way of doing it. So when you press enter, the answer you get is 24,000 from 37 to 24,250. So I've simply done the deduction one after another. Another way of doing it is to put them in brackets. That would mean you say equals this minus, you open brackets and do the addition of everything inside the bracket. So this plus this one, NHIF, plus this. After you add them, you deduct them from the gross salary. The figure you get when you press enter is still the same, simply because you first put this in brackets, added them, placed them in the bracket, and this was now the figure that was to subtract the total of the deductions. You get the same figure, whether you do it using subtract only for every figure, or you first add them, place them in a bracket, and deduct from the gross salary. Any method can work. Then you now can drag. So every person's net salary is displayed. So all these concern money, so I can now select the cells and convert to money up here. I can come here and convert this. This hash means the space isn't enough, so you can stretch. Each time you see the hash, it means the space isn't enough. You may also not want the decimal points for cents, so you can simply come here, pick currency, and reduce the cents to now have that. We would also want to do the totals, so you can maybe do totals down here. We can do totals. So the total of this, I can use the not the user defined functions. I now can use the functions formula. I can highlight and come here and click sum. The total money spent on salaries was 300,000. If I drag this, I'm able to get, if I double click this, it tells me what has been done. This was as a result of summing from C6 to C15. You can look at functions in my previous video. Total money spent on commissions was 24,000. If you check here, it tells you this is as a result of adding D6 to D15. So from here to here, if you click this, it tells you, because of dragging, it is showing us the figures of every total to every NHIF and everything we are doing. So let's now create another example that you can use for practicing. I shall create another report, an example of a company that is selling products. So I'll add another worksheet here. Let me create the heading. When practicing, you will be using these examples to practice. I can call this company Moja Limited, and this can put it bold. Can resize to a bigger size, and then I can put the telephone number. I can merge this part. Telephone number, that's the telephone number. Just an example. Mobile, can put any number. Also put this to bold. Then I can start my report. So here I again start with the number. Product. Product can mean small. Let me just write in small. Product or item. Another word could be item. If what you want doesn't fit, you can simply stretch. Then the selling price. Selling price. Then the stock you have, just an example. The stock you have, the quantity you've sold, this I can put to this. Can put this to have them. I want to occupy 2 lines. Put to center. Amount. maybe remaining stock. Just an example. You can also work with this. Then something like status, so that I can use some function there. I'm working with status of 5. For add or not add, something like that. You will see what I mean. Add, not add. It's just an example. So I can put these ones to bold. Then I start filling data. So 1, 2. Pick this and drag. Then come here, put maybe products. For just products. Just an example for practicing. Just for practicing. Desktops, projectors, headphones. Just an example. Just an example. What else? What else? Let me. I can work with the laptops, printers, TVs, and what else? Maybe which other product in my mind? Monitors. Yeah. Selling price can work with any figure. These are I'm just filling them. So stock, I shall also fill stock. Maybe the stock I have can just fill. So some parts I shall fill. So quantity sold. When you talk of quantity sold, what you've sold, maybe for reduce I've sold 6 this week. This other one I've sold 8. The other one I've sold 9. This one's I've sold 10. This one's I've sold 9. I've sold 20. Sold 21. This ones I've sold 39. This ones I've sold 27. This ones I've maybe sold 12. So that's the part I'm filling. The rest I could be now. I can now apply formulas. I shall also be adding other things here. So let's say the amounts. So let's say the money I've received from selling radios. I'll just need to do this times this times this. So I'll just put my cursor there, use a user defined formula by saying equals what I have here multiplied by what I have here. Then I press enter. So when you multiply 26,000 times 6, you will get this. So I can simply drag. So each of these cells, what you're seeing here is as a result of adding what is in column C, row 14 times E, row 14. So it's as a result of adding this times this. That's what you're getting this. So you drag. Quantity stock remaining would mean what I had in the stock and what I have sold. That's what it would mean. So I would say equals the stock I have had minus what I have sold. So the remaining stock is 6 of the radius. If I drag, it's able to indicate what is remaining. 36 is as a result of minusing 44 with the 8. That's when I get 36. 12 minus 6, I get this. So each of these cells, the ones you fill, the formula bar shows the contents of the cell, as this name box is indicating the cell address. Those ones that are as a result of doing calculations, here it shows the formula, or the is it a functions formula or a user defined formula. This is a case of a user defined formula as a result of multiplying the selling price and the quantity, which is in C and the one in E. So there is also this. We want to do a case where if the stock you have is above 5, then you don't need to do a reorder. So I can create a key here that says, create a key that says above 5. So above 5, I can put here to be not add. There's no point of adding if the stock is above that. Lower than 5, you can add. That's the key I want to use. So this time round, I'll use a functions formula we could refer to as if. You can check my previous video. So we'll be working with the stock remaining. If it's above 5, we don't need to reorder. If it's lower than 5, we need to add stock. You can call it add stock. So I'll use if. One way of using if is to type. Another way is to go to this part here, come here, pick if, say okay. You want to test whether this is above 5. If it's above 5, we don't need to add. You can say not add. If it's above, then we can say add stock. Just a message to indicate what you want to do. So if the figure is above, you don't need to add stock. If it's lower, you need to add stock. That's what we mean. We are testing the G column. So when you press enter or OK, when we drag, it's going to tell you the parts you need to add. Like now this part you need to add stock here because you have 4 remaining. You also need to add here because you only have 1 in your shop. Your shop also has only 2 of the monitors, so you need to add this. The rest are okay, they can continue. So that's what you mean. I'm using if at this point of. You can use this up here, or other people can write. You can simply type by saying equals, use the function formula in your, you'll check the previous video, open brackets, ask yourself if this cell is above or lower, depending on what you want to start with. If it's lower than 5, put a comma, indicate what you'd want to do. You'd want to add stock. If not, you don't need to add. So you can type or go to up there and pick and then you close the bracket. So when you press enter, it's going to indicate you don't need to add this, they are above 6. So when you drag, it's able to indicate the stock that needs to be added. You need to add monitors. You also need to add TVs. You also are supposed to add the projectors. Ones I may need to fill them manually. So the radio is being sold at 26,000. I may have bought the radio at each radio at 22,000. This one I may have bought at 28,000. This I may have bought at 12,000. This I may have bought at 15,000. This I maybe have bought at 25,000. This I may have bought at 21,000. This I may have bought at 19,000. This is just an example. Headphones I may have bought each at 3,000. TVs, the ones I have, I may have maybe bought them at 24,000. The monitors I have, I may have bought them at 9,000. So profit per item, these ones I have filled them manually. Profit per item would mean the selling price minus the buying price. That's what you get the profit. So I'll say equals the selling price minus the buying price. Then I press enter. So that would mean each item will indicate to me the profit I have made. I have made a profit of 4,000 to every TV because I sold each TV at 26, having bought them at 22. So I can now drag this down. It's able to calculate. Here I've made a profit of 1,000 because the buying price was 3,000 and I'm selling each at 4. Total profit would mean the profit I have multiplied by the quantity I sold. So I sold 6. So I made a profit of 4,000, which is this one. And the items I sold of the radios were 6. So each, if I drag, each giving me 4,000, and there are 6 that have been sold, the total profit I've made is 24,000. So that's what we mean. This could be a report of a month. This will assist you in practicing this unit. You also can review my previous video and you shall be good to go in doing your own work in the office and being able to generate simple reports in Excel with your friends. Thank you very much.